Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 28th of May. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is well above the old March resistance, 87.50. Above that, we're looking for the top of the broadening triangle from April last year up to 9,000, hopefully by the end of next month. 8600 rather, to 8650 looks to be a solid support area, and any dips towards that area regarded as potential buying opportunity, especially given the way that both the 50 and 200-day lines are both rising now. The next time they touch will hopefully be a golden cross, and that tends to be, the run-up to that tends to be the strongest part in the cycle. Onto the DAX, and here, it's all about trying to get to the top of that rising trend channel from April last year. That's currently pointing at 24,700. We're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above 23,500, which I suppose has proven itself to be new support now as opposed to old resistance, which is what it was back in March. The Dow is next, and here looking more encouraging now with the gap fill rebound, unfilled gap to the upside, so it's a bear trap gap reversal. Rising 50-day line RSI 50 rebound as well, which looks quite juicy, and also the neckline resistance a break there at 42,800. Above that, we've got potential of a move back to the 45,000, the highs of the year, and also the top of that channel as high as 47,000, maybe by the end of July, something like that. But the key here is to stay on the right side of 42,000 and the floor of that May rising trend channel from last year. Moving on to Bitcoin, which is possibly the most exciting market at the moment. It normally is anyway, but we're in the aftermath of a golden cross between the 50 and 200-day lines. We are basically trading either side of the old January resistance around 109. Above the recent support, an old resistance from earlier this month, 106, we're looking for up to 123 by the end of next month. RSI at 63, so not overbought anymore. We have the chance of a move to the upside. Moving on to gold, and here things are slightly more precarious. We're trying to stay within that rising trend channel, the March one, which I suppose is too steep to be true, but we have support there at the 50-day line, 32.10, and any dips towards that area regarded as a buying opportunity, as would be an end-of-day close above that April resistance line through 33.60. Top of the channel through 3800 by the end of next month is the destination if we can get a quick break of that 33.60 zone. Moving on to the stocks and starting off with Altona. And here, decent announcement today regarding Fluorospar, and here we've got a rising trend channel base. We've got the 50 and 200-day lines. Well, at least the 200-day line looks like it's ready to start rising. Going towards a golden cross, 2.4 pence the target, hopefully by the end of next month, as rare earths in general get a better amount of love than they have for quite some time. Upside value while we're above the floor of the channel there, 1.3 pence. On to Avacta, which 24 hours ago looked rather sickly, right at on that support line projection there, at the 26 pence level, and that was the low, but we've had a bear trap gap reversal, so above April support there at 31 pence, looking for the top of that wedge formation at 39, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and best case up to 45, the old March peak. But the only thing here to wait for is probably either an end of day close above RSI 50, which we're currently above RSI 50, or above the 50-day line at 35 pence. Of course, you probably want to see that broken convincingly, given that the way that in the recent past, the 50-day line has basically been at the top of the range for the shares. Moving on to another biotech, where there's been buying from Jersey, and here you can see that 50 and 200-day lines on Cizzle are starting to rise. We're in the run up to a golden cross, top of the broadening triangle there, on top of the range, 2.2 3/4 pence. Think about that by the end of next month, while we remain above the 200-day line at 1 3/4 pence. On to Coinsilium, which has one of the heroes of the recent past with the Bitcoin strategy, and obviously Bitcoin doing well as well. We were looking for around 5.5 pence on a break of that resistance line there at 3.6 pence, which we got after the placing, I think 3 pence of £1.5 million, and the view was above 5.5 would go towards 9. We've done that, and above that red resistance line target, looking for up to 12 pence, which was resistance on the way down back in July 2021. So we're going back a long way, but ideally the shares stay above the 8.5 pence area, which hopefully they're trying to do at the moment. On to Cykel, and here another Bitcoin treasury play. We had an announcement yesterday, and the company obviously enjoyed it so much it gave us the same announcement again today. What we'd like to see is an end of day close through recent resistance around 3.3 pence. If we can do that, then it'd be up to 4 pence, and the 200-day moving average, 50-day line rising as well, which is encouraging at the moment, but we'd like to stay above that gap floor, 2.9 pence. Moving along to Fragrant Prosperity, which is having another go at the upside, we hope. Found support towards the penny area. Probably need to break 1.4 pence on an end-of-day close basis to give us a journey back to 2 pence and the peaks of last month. On to Georgina, which has had a given decent announcements of late. We're bouncing off an uptrend line there from back in January. The line there around 7.8 pence above that, looking at the top of the range again towards 11 pence by the end of next month. If you're cautious, you wait for the shares to get back above the 200-day line at 8.75 pence. Moving along to Frontier Developments, and here with a nice gap up above the rising, above the 200-day line and a rising 50-day line, just shy of the target there. The target line around 256. The high today so far 255. End of day close above that line. We're looking for fresh leg up to 335, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. But we don't want to have anything below, any price action below now the floor of the gap there at £2.29. Moving on to Faron, and here, picture of a stock in a rising trend channel, top of the channel there, £2.85. We're looking for that while we're above yesterday's support, 227. RSI's had several bounces at and above neutral 50, so that is why the situation is looking as though it's got legs. Moving along to Jangada, and here, picture is that we've managed to shoot through the old target there, 1.818 pence. Above that, looking for a resistance line projection from this time last year of 1.6 pence, well before the end of next month. Moving along to Mulberry, and here, pictures of a bear trap reversal back above 92 pence, the old January support. We can hold above that. The next level up could be to fill that gap up to £1.28 by the end of next month, and obviously best case up to 140 plus at the top of that broadening triangle from back in February last year. A bit of a buzz with Newformix. That might just be the company's PR or people who are in the shares, but looks as though something is moving here with the overshoot to the downside, clear one after the gap down, and then finding support at the 200-day line, 0.09. Above that, the initial target there, 1.14, and then looking for 0.19 at the top of that rising trend channel by the end of next month, with the key here staying above 008. Next up is Surface Transforms, and here you can see that the shares are pushing towards the main target here, which is the top of that gap there at 1.4 pence. Best case would be up to 1.8 pence, and that upper parallel of the rising trend channel base. End of day close above the recent high around 0.88 would be the trigger, hopefully, for a decent move to fill that gap up towards the 1.5 pence zone. On to the last few, and the first one is Solvonis, which had a decent update today with the PTSD and alcohol disorder treatments that they're working on. Rising trend channel there, top of the channel there, 0.26. Looking for that by as soon as the end of next month, if we can stay above a recent support there at 0.12. If you're cautious, probably wait for an end of day close above the 50-day line at 0.15, just to make sure that we're back in business, and also with the net RSI breaking back above neutral 50 versus 45 at the moment. On to Smarter Web, where I'd like to report the multiple messages of adulation I got for the call from around the 15 pence area, but unfortunately nobody actually said anything at all, which is rather surprising. Maybe it's because the shares have come back down today. What will be interesting now is whether we can hold the 70 pence area yesterday's support ahead of a potential best case scenario move up to £1.27. If you are looking for the next push higher, it probably would be on a decent break of the former price channel top there at 92 pence. Moving on to Tern, where we've already had the fundraise, so hopefully there can't be another one, 2 in a month. But here, Decent rise for the shares through recent resistance at 1.5 pence and looking for 2 pence initially. After that, maybe 2.5 pence plus by the end of next month. Fundraisers permitting, but ideally we stay whatever happens above 1.5 pence. Finishing off with Upland, where there's been a lot of smoke with not very much fire so far, but people getting very hot under the collar in terms of what the shares could do. Here you can see, though, that we're just trading either side of the 200-day line, 1.16 pence. Ideally, we stay above the 1.08 50-day line level. If we can do that, then perhaps people will be happy to remain in place, waiting for something exciting to turn up. 2.1 pence, the initial target here by the end of next month, while we're above that 50-day line.